Okay, yesterday I did this post inside the community asking people how many interviews they've actually landed so far. Okay, because it's important for me and you to know what your current job search stats look like. Okay, otherwise you can't actually help yourself. You can't fix it. Okay, the reason I'm asking what job you're targeting, how long you've been looking, how many applications you've submitted, and how many interviews you've secured is for a very particular reason. Okay, we want to look at problem identification. Okay, and problem identification is super simple. Okay, you can essentially pinpoint the issues with your job search into these three buckets: clarity, alignment, and strategy. Okay, where clarity is essentially the way that you communicate value to potential employers. Okay, and that can be done through your resume, through LinkedIn, through outreach, or even in interview situations. All right. If you're looking at alignment, essentially what we're looking at here is, are you applying to jobs that you're a good fit for or not? Okay, and if you're not, then what we can look at is, do you actually know how to identify whether you're a good fit for a job or not? Okay, and that, I know that's a major issue for a lot of people, but a lot of people are either not aware or won't accept it. Okay, we're going to have a quick look at that today. And then strategy is essentially everything else surrounding your job search. So what are you doing in terms of your application strategy? What are you doing in terms of outreach? What are you doing in terms of your social strategy? What are you doing in terms of networking, for referrals, tailoring, interview prep, everything? Okay, but I just want to look at these two things here today, okay, because they're super important. Okay, so the reason I'm asking here, and I'm not calling anyone out, the purpose of this is to help everybody that's commented, but also anybody who joins the community and accelerator in the future. Okay, what we're looking at is application to interview ratio. So 60 to 3, 100 to 0, 500 to 0, 100 to 4, and then if we go back to one of the resume review sessions, 120 to 3, 300 to 10, but nothing in the last 2 months, 200 to 5, let's have a look, 400 to 7, 800 to 10, 300 to 0, 150 to 0, 1,000 to 5, 500 to 0, and so on and so forth. And this is the exact same trend that I see all the time with job seekers that are struggling in the market. Okay, a lot of applications, very little interviews. Okay, but I want to just show you some of the things here because the same patterns crop up every time. AI for optimization and ATS keywords. AI to tailor your resume based on the job description. ATS optimization and AI. Keywords from the job description. Requirements in the JD and AI. Let's have a look. Using incorrect formatting for this one, but also, if we just have a quick look. Okay, mapping it to the requirements. Don't tailor, that's fine. Experiment without tailoring. There's the third thing I want you to look at is this. Okay, so we've looked at all the stats for the people that commented on this. Job right. 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 That one's not got job right. Okay. I have never met a single person ever that has secured a job using JobRite AI. Okay? At all. JobRite contacted me in February 2025 because they wanted me to represent their brand, essentially be like an ambassador, influencer, whatever you want to call it. And I basically told them that I've never met a single person who's secured a job using the platform, and I wouldn't represent the brand unless they could confirm to me exactly how they are determining percentage fit, because I believe that all they're doing is matching language and they're not actually determining percentage fit in their platform or in a legitimate way that represents how recruiters determine fit. Okay, so what I just want to show you here before I go into an explanation of how things work, there are a lot of different platforms that people use. Okay, so for example, a lot of people are using these AI apply type services at the minute, and they're absolutely garbage. Okay, if you take a look down here, let me have a quick look. Okay, how can the AI resume scanner help with ATS compatibility? Okay, it scans using artificial intelligence, analyzing the resume against job descriptions and ATS requirements. This doesn't mean anything. Okay, there is no applicant tracking system in the world that has requirements that will block your resume. Okay, I've used tons of different applicant tracking systems. I've been recruiting for 12 years, and I've been working with job seekers like yourself for 12 years to help you guys land interviews and offers. There is no such thing as AI rejection in applicant tracking systems. There is no such thing as keyword filtering out in applicant tracking systems. There is no such thing as keyword matching, which increases your chances or reduces your chances of getting selected. Okay? You're not going to be blocked by a robot. You're not going to be auto-rejected by AI. It does not exist. And these types of services are a scam. Okay? So you'll have seen adverts for companies like this. And it'll be, oh, I didn't get interviews for 6 months, and then I applied for 3,000 jobs in one day and managed to get 2 interviews. Well, that's a terrible application to interview ratio. And it also is detrimental down the line. Okay? Optimized for ATS systems isn't a thing. Okay? The people that run these types of companies have never worked in recruitment, never worked in hiring positions, okay? And they are trying to scam and play on the essentially emotional insecurities of job seekers that are struggling, okay? Do not use services like this. They are rubbish. I have spoken to maybe 10 to 20 different versions of this business where they wanted me to integrate it into my coaching services, okay? And I've gone through and looked at the back end of all of them, explained to them, you don't even know how to assess resumes properly. Okay, a lot of these companies are literally basing the percentage fit that you see, which also does not mean anything, okay, on your seniority level, the technical skills that you have in your resume, maybe a industry fit, and that's it. They're doing like a language match, okay, and language matching is not the basis for determining your fit for a job. Okay, no recruiter is going to look at your resume and go, oh, this is great. Alex has got Python, SQL, Tableau, and whatever else in his resume. Okay, oh, and he's got it more times than this person, so he must be better. It does not work like that. Okay, I just want to show you this. So if we go on JobRite, where you've got this percentage here, so when you're on JobRite, you'll get all of these percentages down the right hand side: strong match, not a good match, whatever it would be. Okay, this doesn't mean anything. If you actually look at it, experience level, skills, industry experience, these are not things that recruiters are looking at to determine whether you're a good fit for their job. Okay, it is a scam. These percentage matches do not work, okay? Which is why, if we just go back, this is why we've got people using JobRite, applying to hundreds of jobs or thousands of jobs, and not landing interviews, okay? JobRite can be used for research, okay, to see if there's any new jobs posted. You've got to actually look at the job descriptions, okay? So if, for example, we click through here, go to the original job post, okay? What we're actually looking at here is we've got to look at the job title. We've got to look at and try and work out, obviously, the industry that this sits in or serves. And we've got to look at the main problems and solutions that the company are looking to hire for. Okay? That information is usually here. Okay? Let's have a look. We're redefining environmental consulting and sustainable engineering through our use of cutting-edge modeling and digital technology. It's commitment to people. Okay? So this is the industry. Okay? Our work spans high-growth sectors like water resources, resilient land use, energy transformation, civil infrastructure. Okay? Our commitment to excellence across more than 90 offices, championed by a team of over 2,000 experts, blah, 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 blah. We partner with clients to deliver smart, data-driven solutions to complex environmental and infrastructure challenges. Okay, so this is the problem and solution case that they're working on. Okay, the problem that they're working on, the solution they're providing is smart, data-driven solutions to complex environmental infrastructure challenges within these areas. Okay, so to be considered a top applicant for this job, you would also need to have a crossover experience in these areas. And if you don't, you're not going to be a top applicant. You can still be a good applicant and apply, but if you're not going to be a top applicant if you've not got experiences in these areas. Okay, what the role will do. Assist with collecting, cleaning and organising data, supporting the development of dashboards, reports and visualizations, analysing data sets to identify trends, patterns, opportunities, collaborating with cross-functional teams to understand data needs, help document data processing and ensure data accuracy, gain exposure to real-world applications and consulting. Okay. Okay, so this is not a good job description, just to let you know. But what you would need to do to be considered a top applicant is not this. Okay, most people will look at this. They'll go, okay, it's in the location I'm looking at. I'm a data analyst, and then they'll go down here and go, oh great, I've got a degree in this field and I know this. Okay, fundamentally, every single data analyst will be proficient in this. Okay, so that's not a reason that you're a good fit. What we're looking for is ideally bullet points, whether it's personal academic projects or experiences that showcase your ability to work on projects potentially in this area, but if not, in similar areas where you are doing this, where you are doing this, where you are doing this. Okay, if it says collaborating with cross-functional teams to understand data needs and business objectives, okay, we're not looking for you to match language here. We're not looking for you to put this word in your resume. That doesn't make you a good fit. What we're looking for is you to showcase projects that you've previously done in these areas at a scale and in an environment and with a specific amount of impact and significance, which allows them to understand whether your experience is transferable to them or not. Okay, we're not looking for you to include geologists, and we're not looking for you to include this as a keyword, or this as a keyword, or we're not looking for you to include cross-functional teams as a keyword. That isn't how it works. What we want to know is, what were those cross-functional teams? Who specifically are you collaborating with? What was the purpose of this collaboration, and why was it significant? Okay, the way that all of this works is complete nonsense. Okay, this percentage match. And one of the main reasons that people get tricked into this is the same reason that they get tricked into things like JobScan. Okay, if you've ever tried to determine your fit for a job based on a percentage, it's usually baseless. Okay, there is no such thing as an ATS score in any ATS on the planet. Okay, when you're looking at an ATS score with things like JobScan, it's just using its own metrics. It's not actually based off any applicant tracking system. Okay, searchability, hard skills, soft skills, recruiter tips, and formatting, they're not things that are in an applicant tracking system. Okay, don't use things like this. They don't work. An ATS score doesn't mean anything. So when a lot of people say, I review a job description, and then if I have a 70% match, or if I've got a 75% plus score, then I'll apply. But that doesn't mean anything. You've got to actually ask yourself, what am I actually doing? What does that 70% mean? Why does that mean that I'm a good fit? Generally, it just doesn't. Okay. The other thing that I want to show you. Okay. So when you are looking at your resume bullets. Okay. So if we go back to this here. Okay. Looking at clarity, we're looking at value, context, immediate and wider impact. Okay, this is one of the main issues. Okay, so when I just said about the job description, we've got to provide information around the task, your impact, the significance of the impact, the tools that you were using, the scale of the project, the environment you worked in, the information to help them understand transferability and potential ROI. Okay, so when you're looking at something like this, okay, if I just pull this up for you. Okay. So what you'll see here is this bullet point. Okay, developed automated ETL pipelines, improving data processing efficiency by 35% using Python and SQL. A lot of the time, people on LinkedIn, on YouTube, with these kind of bullshit companies, will tell you that this is like an optimal bullet point. It's got an action verb. It's got an impact metric or percentage. It's showing tooling. Realistically, this bullet point is not good. Okay. The reason it's not good is because it has red flags in these following areas, okay? So when you're looking at a bullet point, you should always assume that the person reading your resume has never met you, never heard of the company that you work for, not familiar with the projects you've worked on, that they've got a novice or entry-level technical expertise in your niche, that they're risk-averse, especially if you require sponsorship at some stage down the line. You need to assume that they're reading your resume to assess for transferability, evaluate for potential ROI, and you need to reduce any guesswork that comes with that. Okay, you need to make it as easy as possible for them to understand exactly what it is that you do, what value you bring, and why you're potentially a good fit for them. Okay, if they have to do further investigation, they're just going to reject you. Most people's bullet points look like this. Okay, and it's not your fault, because if we look at the different types of companies that are sharing nonsense like this, every time I've gone on this website, it keeps doing this. Wait a minute. Right. Okay. So if we just zoom in on this here, what you can see, let me scroll down. If you just look at this bullet point down here, okay, researched user trends to implement strategies for new update called Cheetah. 1, bad grammar, but improving user experience and gathering data from queries while increasing customer operations satisfaction rating by 11%. That does not mean anything. Okay, if we go back to this here, okay, assume they're not familiar with the projects that you've worked on the same way that you are. In this bullet point, we have no idea what this 35% actually means. What are the numbers behind it? What is this? How is it measured? What does it equate to? What was the start point? What was the end point? Why was it significant? And without those things, it's impossible for somebody who has never met you, never heard of the company you work for, not familiar with projects, to understand what value you bring and if it's transferable to their business or not, and what sort of potential ROI they can get if they were to bring you into their business. Okay? If we try and find one of the other ones here, like, here we go. Improve product teams through product trainings, knowledge bases, and ICS tools. Training remote teams, including 30 reactive agents and vendors from Phoenix and Michigan, to improve retention rates by 10%. What does that 10% mean? Okay? It doesn't provide any useful information for a recruiter to actually evaluate your fit. Okay, and this is one of the main issues. If you remember what I was saying before, we'll just go back to the normal size page. Okay, so if we actually just go into this, so this is that exact same company, and this is the thing that I was telling you about. They're great marketers, but the people that actually run the business. So if we, I wonder if they'll come up. So if we look at this guy, okay, so he's one of the founders of One Sultan. He posts all the time on TikTok, posts all the time on YouTube and stuff. Okay. So if we actually scroll down and look at what he's done and who he is, okay, he's identified that people struggle with their job searches, and he's preying on that by creating a AI, a resume builder, application sort of thing. But if you actually look, okay, co-founder 2021 to present, but he has never ever worked within recruitment. He's never worked within talent. He's never worked within HR. Okay, so there is no reason why he should have ever used an applicant tracking system. There is never a situation where he'll have done high volume resume reviews and screening and interview scheduling. Okay, so he has no basis to actually suggest this is the issue. This is what you're doing wrong. This is this. Okay, and this is one of the main reasons. Here's the other guy that actually runs it. Okay. Strategic advisor, and if we go through, the salespeople, okay, they've never worked within hiring or recruitment or HR, okay? They're marketing and salespeople, okay? They're selling a quick solution for lazy job seekers, okay? But fundamentally, it does not work. Okay, and it's the exact same. I'm just going to get rid of this website because it's slowing my computer down. It's the exact same thing for this with Teal. Look, good match score, resume structure, keyword usage, measurable results. They're all following the exact same thing, but fundamentally, this is not how you are assessed, okay? When you're assessed, okay, and when you're looking at your resume, if I just show you this, okay, I'm going to do a separate video about this another time. But if I just show you this, okay. So when you're looking at a resume, so when a resume actually comes through, all we're doing in terms of scanning is looking at the location you're in, trying to identify quickly who you are. If you're a recent graduate, we'll look at this. But all we're looking at are these first parts of your bullet points, because this is what tells us which types of projects you've worked on, okay? We're not coming down here and going, oh, they've got this, and this, and this, because that doesn't mean you can do a job. That doesn't mean you're a good fit. The things that make you a good fit is, in this example here, the fact that we might be looking for someone who has worked on ETL pipeline processing projects, okay? And we want to know what your impact actually is, and we want to know what the environment you've worked in looked like to determine whether it's transferable for our business or not. None of that has anything to do with this or experience level, skill, and industry expertise, okay? And that's fundamentally the issue here, okay? If we're looking at what an applicant tracking system does, okay, I'll just show you this very quickly. It stores your resume. It records your application answers when you knock out questions. It tracks your hiring stages. It keeps recruiter notes. It stores interview feedback, and it helps recruiters manage communication. Okay? It is not a robot. It is not a scoring machine. It doesn't do keyword rejection. It isn't a hidden AI gatekeeper, and it's not the reason you're not getting interviews. The reason you're not getting interviews is primarily because you're not communicating value correctly. Okay? So if we come back to this, okay, the reason that this is bad is for all the reasons that we've already discussed. Okay? And the companies out there and experts out there that are selling these services are basically just giving you a surface level overview of what they think it needs to be done because it makes sense, okay? Or if you include an impact metric, then it's easy for someone to understand your value. But this doesn't mean anything, okay? What we're looking at here, if we just go through, okay, is based on that bullet point. We don't know what kind of data or domain, we don't know what scale we're talking about, we don't know what 35% efficiency actually means, we don't know what the before state was, who benefited, who enabled, how many pipelines, okay? When we're looking at this, we actually want to correct it using a different writing formula, okay? And once we've done that writing formula and the processes that you should actually be doing, you end up with a bullet point that is infinitely better, okay? Which is this. So we then move from developed automated ETL pipelines, improving data processing efficiency by 35% using Python and SQL, to developed 8 automated ETL pipelines, processing 10 million rows of transactional data daily, reducing processing time from 2 hours to 1 hour 18 minutes, enabling faster reporting for 6 analysts and product managers using Python, SQL, and Snowflake. And it isn't a long bullet point, it's 2 lines, okay? But this is the top line that you can see here is the orange thing. This is exactly what people are trying to tell you to do on LinkedIn. Okay, this is the reason that people are not securing interviews, because they're listening to bad advice. They're using services like this, which a percentage match is completely baseless, so you don't actually know why you're a good fit. Okay, and then people are using ATS scoring because they think that ATS is blocking them or affecting them when it's not. But then you've got companies like this that are doing free CV makers, okay, and they're just garbage. They don't do anything. Okay, 100% ATS friendly does not mean anything. Okay, I'm gonna link this article. Okay, it's really good and it breaks everything down. Okay, what an applicant tracking system actually is, how ChatGPT gets it wrong. Okay, this is really interesting. Okay, and this is something that obviously I've made a video on this as well. I'm going to post it very soon. But if you ask ChatGPT, what does the data show? Does ATS auto reject resumes based on keywords? ChatGPT says yes, because it's pulling information from social media, blogs, written by non-experts. Okay, but if it's got high coverage and high traffic, because job seekers that are struggling will try and look for any sort of answer, which is fair enough, it's giving misinformation. Knockout questions can disqualify you. Okay, does ATS use AI to score on candidates? ChatGPT says yes, and really they don't. Okay, do most companies use AI to screen resumes? Yes. Really, it's no. Okay, and this is so true. Okay, so a universal ATS score? No. No. Do resume formatting issues cause auto rejection? Yes. Rarely. Okay, so all the things that this is basing a good resume or a good application or a good fit on is just completely made up. It's nonsense. Okay, it does not mean anything. Okay, so I wanted to make this to help you avoid falling into a trap. When you're looking at the way to actually be a good fit for a job, okay, all that you need to do is look at these things for a role fit. Okay, super easy. Company context. The reason that they're hiring. Standard responsibilities, non-standard responsibilities, hard skills, soft skills, industry-specific skills, potential screening criteria, and expected proof. Okay? What this means, if you want to break it down, is we're looking at the industry that the company sits in or serves, the main problems and solutions that they're working on or looking to appease by making a hire, the standard responsibilities for that particular job type, the non-standard responsibilities, which are the things that are actually unique to the company. Okay? The hard skills, so your primary programming languages, for example, your soft skills, any industry-specific skills or domain knowledge. And then this bit, the recruiter screen criteria, based on 1 to 7, we then want to analyze 1 to 7 and go, what are the 3 to 5 most likely projects or experiences that a recruiter is likely to look for in a resume to determine whether somebody might be worth interviewing. That's what this is, number 8. Number 9 is the expected proof along with transferability. Okay, so with transferability, this is super important. Can your experience clearly transfer into this role's environment? Scale and problem set. Where's the overlap? Where's the gap? This is the thing that separates somebody who has a crossover for these things with somebody who's actually a very good fit for a job. Okay, and this is what you got to look at. This is what we teach. If we come into here, this is what we teach in the resume to offer accelerator. Okay, this is what I go through so you can actually understand how to do everything, how to position yourself, how to align yourself, how to fix your resume, how to fix your LinkedIn, how to increase your social visibility, how to do your networking and inbound, how to do your application strategy, how to do your interview mastery. All of this stuff is here for you. Okay, all of it's here. It is in the premium members section, but if you want to fix your job, and you need to ask yourself, how important is it to me to actually land a job? And if you're somebody that has applied for 200 jobs and landed 5 interviews, or 400 jobs and landed 7 interviews over a year and a half, or 800 jobs and landed 10 interviews over more than a year, you've got to ask yourself, how important is it for you to land a job? And if you really want to land a job and you want to fix the issues, stop trying to do hacks and tricks and tips and beat the system, because it doesn't work. There's fundamentally a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. Okay? Stop using bullet points like this and then wondering why you're not getting a job. Okay? You've got to have contextualized bullet points. It's super important. You've also got to be applying for jobs you're a good fit for, but you've got to be able to determine what that good fit actually looks like. Okay? How aligned are you? And that determines whether you ever tailor your resume or not. It determines whether you follow up or not, and at what sort of cadence you follow up. Okay? You should never apply for jobs you're not a good fit for. If you need to include information in your resume to make yourself a fit, you're just not a good fit, so don't bother. Okay? I just wanted to make this video because it was very evident that a lot of people are still doing the exact same things that I essentially always point out not to do. Okay, don't use AI to try and find out if you're a good fit. Like, give me a percentage fit. Okay, it doesn't mean anything. Don't ask if you're ATS friendly or ATS optimized. It's not a thing. Stop looking at percentage matches on JobRite and different things like this to determine fit. It doesn't work. Okay, and it's no coincidence. Okay, when people are applying for hundreds of jobs and not landing interviews. Okay, they're all and the people are doing all the same things, all using JobRite, all using AI to tailor your resume to match keywords, and you're all applying for jobs and not getting interviews. So first things first is just stop doing that and do something that actually works. If you want to ask me any questions about it, drop me a DM, leave a comment below. I'm more than happy to help and advise you. If you want my help to fix it, join the premium members section. It's not expensive at all, and I'm more than happy to help any of you with that. Just to let you know, in the premium member section, because I've been asked a few times, yes, we do help you fix your resume. Yes, we do help you fix your LinkedIn. Yes, we do help you implement a job search strategy. Yes, we do post new jobs in the community every single week. And yes, we will help you prepare for interviews. And yes, we will help you with your outreach. Okay, it's a full service coaching program. Okay, it's been tried and tested over the last 12 years. Okay, in 2025, we helped over 500 people land full-time offers, including people that were had a visa requirement and sponsorship requirements. Okay, hopefully that helped, guys. I know that might have seemed like a bit of a rant talking about some of the other companies. It's just something I'm super passionate about, and a lot of people need their eyes opening to what's actually going on because it can be very confusing. All right, have a great day.